Hey everybody, welcome to Keeping It 100. It's another Thursday night. We are in the building, myself, Mr. Houston Vines, and we have Maurice Gilliam. He's in the building. What you guys got going on?
Woo!
Anything at all?
Woo!
I'm sorry, let's start with you, Houston, because we already know Maurice going somewhere.
Actually, myself, nothing major is going on. I'm finishing up some work. I did a wedding a couple of weeks ago and was finishing up
How
some other
was it?
projects. The wedding was off the chain. It was nice.
Really?
It
That's
was nice.
good.
It was nice. Uh, Part of it was outdoor and it was extremely hot. But one thing I do like about wedding ceremonies, most of the time they're less than 30 minutes long. The
Yeah.
wedding ceremony itself. So we did a wedding ceremony outside, but we only had to go about 15 feet to go inside, where it was cool.
Oh, okay.
Dance, food, conversation with people, 360, the whole nine. It was cool. It was nice.
Well, that's pretty good because
Yeah.
you already know. Like my wedding, I had about 15 songs, so my wedding was long, a little longer.
See, that's what's wrong with folks right there.
And it was 100
Play
degrees.
one song with you walking down. That's all we need.
And it was July 12th, so it was like 100 degrees outside.
And you did an outdoor wedding?
Outdoor wedding on the water. And usually when you go to the water, it's got, the breeze come off the water.
Right.
No breeze.
No breeze.
No.
Wow.
No, none
Wow.
at all. It was look. I went. You know how you got to hand the bouquet to your matron of honor so you can exchange the rings.
Yeah.
I went to reach back to give it to my sister. I looked back because she wasn't grabbing it. All the bridesmaids have moved back to the shade.
Wow.
I got the picture. It's like, why are you way back there? Because of the shade, because the trees was over there. I was like, the kids, my 7 kids was in the wedding. They kept laughing because the fish was jumping out the water. Because fish, for some reason that day, fish would just jump out the water. The butterflies was laying on the back of my dress. So my 3 stepsons was like cracking up laughing. It was hilarious. The whole wedding after it was over was hilarious. It was ridiculous.
Oh. July outdoor wedding. See, there you
stupid. But anyway, yeah.
But nobody could tell you nothing.
I don't love it. But we had the dark skinned black people food.
Tobias, your mic's unplugged.
Me?
Tobias.
Oh. Your mic. Your mic's muted. It's muted.
It's muted now.
There you go.
I don't know why we can't hear you.
Can't hear you though. Go to your other camera.
Look, your other camera. Your other camera.
Your other camera.
I'm gonna put him backstage for a second. Let's see if we can get that. We may not even be able to hear him. That he got it straight.
He got it straight, yeah. But so other than the wedding, do you have any upcoming weddings? Anything coming up?
Actually, there's a couple of things that are going on. There is a gospel comedy show that's coming to, I think it's Greenville. So I am talking with the producer about coming on the show. So I may be doing interviewing him maybe sometime next week, but I'm going to see if I can get him on Keep It 100. I may get you guys to come on for that as well.
Just call me.
Yep. So it's going to be, we're probably going to do a virtual because he's in Greenville. I probably will be here.
What weekend is that?
I've got to find out all the information. The flyer, I'm actually going to try to share it on my page.
Yeah.
Whew, goodness gracious.
Well, other than that, I do want to shout out to Sean Swindale and Tracy Grimes, who got married. I think it was August 24th. They got married. So congratulations to you guys. They kind of slipped it in there, must have been like a little, because I heard about it. All of a sudden I popped up on Facebook and it was like, congratulations. I'm like, what? But
gotcha.
What? It's all right, Sean. I still love you. Don't worry about it. But sometimes you just gotta sneak away and do what you gotta do.
Maurice,
cut that. Can you still can't hear you, Maurice? He tapping.
Go completely out and then come back.
Yeah, go completely out and come back in. But other than that, as far as me, other than Jamia should be performing at the Black Tie event
Okay.
New Beach Missionary Baptist Association in New Bern, I think.
Okay.
She's gonna be performing there. She's the only entertainment for that night.
Okay. Okay.
So, which is pretty cool. What else we got going on? Of course, we finally got everybody booked that was on the trip.
Right.
The Bake Viking cruise, everybody's booked and paid for. Now everybody's just getting their flights or driving or whatever. And once we get that straight, the sister got work to do. So
Okay.
make sure everybody have their
Yeah,
boarding passes.
I want
Huh?
to see how it's gonna go.
You and your wife should be coming. I still got rooms if anybody want to go.
I might will be able to come. She is not getting on a cruise. She
Why?
She does not like cruises for whatever reason.
Really?
Yep.
You know, I'm afraid of water. I'm like deathly afraid of drowning. I can't. But
what you gonna do on a cruise ship then? You need
hey,
you need a desert vacation.
let me tell you something.
That's what you need.
I told them, put my life vest in my room because I don't want to have to ask you for anything. I want mine to be on me at all times.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got
But
you.
I mean, once you get up there, the fear kind of goes away because the ship is so big.
Right.
You really
Right.
can't even feel yourself moving.
I got you. I got you.
You know, and unless you get caught in the storm like I did the last time.
So it makes it a little worse then.
I was seasick the first night, and I was deathly sick the last night before the last night. It was ridiculous. I thought I was gonna puke everywhere.
Gotcha.
I literally had to lay down. I slept the whole afternoon and evening because I couldn't get up. I was like,
So you were on a cruise for no purpose.
Well, the first night it was that day it was fine. The day was fine. But later that night, I just started getting, my sister got sick first. And I guess it just jumped on me and I just got nauseous. And my daughter came to my room and was like, Mom, I can't get in the teen club unless you come, because she was a year younger.
Right.
I had to go and approve her to go up to, one age group. And so I came out of my room. Now, mind you, I had on like some capri shorts,
right,
a t-shirt, right? And I think I had a cap on, right? Like a baseball cap. And she had I'm sick as a dog. She had the audacity to say, is that how you're going?
Look, you still got to represent.
But I was decent. It was,
it was decent to you, not to her, because she brought it up.
There was nobody there. Like the ship really was, a lot of people weren't even out. It was really just a bunch of kids running around. And so I went to the thing, got her in. I looked back to let her know she could go in. She's way down the hall. I'm like, girl, don't play with me. And so I went back to my room. Next day I was fine. For the next 4 days I was fine. That night before the last night, it was crazy. But anyway, I've been on multiple cruises, and I think it's a great way to have fun with the family because everybody has something to do. Everything is free. You don't have to pay for food unless you want to.
True.
And the kids have something to do. You have something to do. I mean, it's just a way that everybody can be together, And I don't want, like, islands, I'm not too sure about with my kids because, I'm not going to leave you in a room by yourself while I go do something. I've heard too many horror stories. So at least
all your kids are older now, so they'd be fine on the ship. Let
me tell you something. And you
can say it.
You can say it, but Trey, look, Trey, how old is Trey?
Trey's 25. I will leave him on the ship.
But let me tell you, if you go on a cruise with Trey, you're going to revert back to daddy mode because it's like, don't get off the boat unless you tell me, because when the boat leaves, I want to make sure that you hear, and Jacob, I had to almost strangle him because I got a call from my cousin who says, hey, we're back on the boat, me, Jacob, and, and her friend. I was like, Jacob got the boat. I like to strangle him.
See? That's the difference between mom and dad. See, that's the difference. You talking about I'll revert back to daddy mode. You know what daddy mode would be? Make sure you back on the ship 30 to 40 minutes before it's time to leave. That's it.
But kids
There's no but.
They lose track of time.
There's no but. That's a mother thing. Men, we're gonna be like, Jess, I'll see you when you get back.
I look, when we got off the boat, I literally was standing at the port down, like at the door on the ramp, like this. And I literally waited and counted. And when I didn't see him come after 30 minutes, I went back down to the island and just happened to see him and his friend in line. And I'm like, why are you just now getting back? Because we've been back almost 40 minutes. We got back in the pool. Seriously?
I'm not gonna get no pity to you. I done told you, long as he back before the ship leaves. No. Now, if he missed the ship, you got to find your way home. That's how dad's gonna do.
And that's the problem. You know, they don't have the means to get home.
Y'all be cuddling these boys too much. That's why y'all turning out like Cam Newton and all. No, I'm just messing. I'm just messing. I just did that to say, Cam, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm just joking.
Look, I told him, I said, look, unless you got a credit card, it's got about $1,500 on it, you don't need to be taking your time doing nothing. If the boat leaves at 3:30, you be back by 2:30.
See, yeah, that makes sense. You need to be back at least 40 minutes to an hour. 40 minutes to an hour before the boat.
Was he able to get back in?
Not as of yet. Let's see. Hold on. Bam.
Stage. There we
go.
go.
There you go. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Good. Yeah, I was sitting back here. I was sitting back here, stabbing myself while Ursula was talking about, the trip. And I'm like, they're boys. Let them be boys.
Thank you. But you know what?
Boys.
Because see what I'm saying? She won't listen to nobody. Nobody. You got two men telling you.
When he was on the ship, I let him do what he wanted to do. He was free to do what he wanted. I'm talking about getting left on an island.
He'll be all right.
No,
he'll learn.
Sorry.
He'll learn.
They said the thing is they won't turn the ship around. I'm like, look, you can either turn this ship around
on that island. They got food.
I'm going to jail because I'm going to take over the thing and I'm going to turn around myself. So
they got food, fresh water, nightlife. You can always catch a flight back later on.
And I'm quite sure they can find him a little job to hold him over.
They can. They'll find him a job.
Not. Which is why children have fathers and why they have mothers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why they turning out the way they are, being raised by single mothers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Speaking of, we're going to get into our first topic for the night, everybody. I'm pretty sure everybody's heard the video about Cam, see the video of Cam Newton and Dr. Drcheyennebryant.
Bryant. Dr.
And how she was talking about low functioning, high functioning, men with kids. We didn't go to the women with kids, but it kind of parlayed into the same thing. So first and foremost, Houston, you're going to play part of the video? Or you play
let me see it.
We can play a little bit of it and then talk and kind of do that.
Okay. All right. Let's see here.
Your life entirely or your.
That's a very vague question, and it's for you.
What situation are you referring to that they're looking at and thinking is not high function?
Just my life.
Your life entirely or your life in relationships?
My life.
See, don't deflect.
Now let me stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there for a second. Let me tell you why. Because she called him out right from the get-go.
Immediately.
Because that was a slight deflection. Deflection. Because he would break my life.
Mm-hmm. He wanted to take away the seriousness of what she was about to say.
I mean, and I get that, but there's a time and place for everything. And I know it's just, it's a show.
Yeah. So,
he was, doing a little too much right then, I think. But let's just see where he goes with this. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stay here. Your life entirely or your life in relationships?
Both, really.
And they think that you're low functioning?
No, I don't.
You just said people see your life and think you're not high functioning. The opposite of that would be low functioning.
No. Okay, so here you go. You're trying to take my intentions away from this. Can I correct it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or can I give you more?
Yeah, some more information. Heck yeah.
So I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
And if you guys want me to pause it,
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
by how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more.
Please pause. Okay.
I already have my finger on the pause button for you.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think?
So when we were talking about the whole, what's your man's name? Maurice, what's his name?
You talking about your boyfriend Kevin Samuels?
Please don't ever say that in one sentence. Yeah, we're talking about Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
And what I'm talking about is Cam has enough money to support however many kids he wants to have.
Right.
But it's not about financial support.
Right.
Because there are a lot of dads who can't afford to pay the child support that he pays.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But there are a lot of dads who actually need a wife to help supplement the income, but he's there. He's present. He's his actions are, it's a daily action for him to be in his child's life.
Right.
Okay.
But I have never heard someone call out Cam, as you will see with her, because he's a guy. He's funny, he's very charismatic. But that does not take away from the fact of you had 8 children with 3 people. But society is going to talk to her about having these children, multiple children with somebody they're not married to. But he just said, I have 8 and I want more. So back to your statement, Maurice, about how women have these multiple baby daddies or whatever, and they ain't no good. There's no way that the second baby mother didn't know that Cam had babies with the previous baby mama because of his high profile status. There's no way she didn't know that.
Of course she didn't know. Of course she knew it.
So
and to be honest with you, I wouldn't doubt if we find out that her and Cam had a conversation. They talked about this. They decided, you know what? If you have my baby, whatever the case may be, let's talk about it. I'll put 1.2 million off to the side. It's going to be in the account. You won't be able to get all of it in one shot, but it'd be there for you and the baby. And if you have another one, I'll put another $500,000-$600,000 in there, plus take care. When you had that kind of conversation, a lot of women are going to be talking about, are we sleeping out? We're going to hit it out here or in the bedroom.
It's true. But my issue is when you talk about a baby mother, so I hate the word, but a woman who has a baby with a man who she's not married to, and people refer to her as a baby mama. Okay. Just because Cam Newton gives her 1.5 on the side,
right,
well taken care of, don't make her any better than a woman who has a baby with somebody who's making $40,000-$50,000 a year.
I don't see a difference either. I don't see a difference either. But I'm just saying, most likely they might have had a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it wasn't a conversation. It was a slip up, or he's trying to be funny, wanted kids, and now he's going to have a hard time taking care of it. I think what Cam is doing, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But he's looking at it from the standpoint of, if I want 12 kids and I can take care of 12 kids, it doesn't have to come from the same woman. I'm good because I'm Cam Newton. Now, I'm not saying he's right, but that's just the way it comes across when you look at the video. Okay,
so then this baby mother knows that she's not going to be with Cam, right? The first baby mother. I think she has 2 or 3.
Okay.
So if she decides to now date someone else,
right,
I'm pretty sure that her financial status is she's a millionaire, right?
Possibly.
In the words of Kevin Samuels, is she now low functioning, or if she's not desirable anymore because she has children, even though her financial status is probably twice that of the people that's trying to talk to her?
See, and it's where the problem comes into play. For a man, the financial status doesn't really mean much of anything to him. because he knows 9 times out of 10 he's not going to see any of the financial money that she gets.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what the case is. I mean, she can make all the money in the world she wants. They may have a nicer house because she's got this kind of money and he might be pitching in what he needs to pitch in and the whole 9. But most likely that money is not going to be showing up in his bank account. He might swipe a card from time to time, but it makes no difference to him. So so it doesn't matter.
So
that's
someone dating her. So someone dating her, it doesn't matter. But someone dating an average person like myself, it comes into play.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the fact that she's got all this money, I didn't say the kids. The kids is going to be an issue and a problem. Most likely, some men aren't going to be interested in that because she's got a kid. Some guys are going to be turned down from the fact of because who the kid's father is. They're not interested because he going to never be able to compete with Cam Newton as far as being the head of the house, man of the house in most cases.
Yep.
So why would he even want to? Now, I'm not saying he's not going to hit it, but as far as wiping her up, most likely not, unless another football athlete come along or a basketball player or some guy that or a musician that's got money like that and the status, he may do that. But an average guy come along, even if the guy's a lawyer and making $300,000 a year, he's going to look at that and go, for someone that's dating Cam, it might be different because she might be a 10 times 3. She might be fabulously beautiful. So she's going to get some attention. But what I'm trying to do is the average person, this is not going to work for. The average woman, this is not going to work for.
Okay. So Shawnee O'Neal has about 6 kids.
Mm-hmm.
She is now, and she, of course, she's a multimillionaire.
Shaq's
ex-wife. She has 6 kids, or I think about 6 kids. Oh, what happened to Houston? Oh, I think he got disconnected. But Shawnee has about 6 children. And she is now married to Keon Anderson, who's a pastor. Her 6 kids didn't seem to matter to him. So
I heard you say 6 kids. My bad. I must have hit something.
Shawnee O'Neal has about 6 children, I think. And some of, like 4 of them with Shaq.
Right.
Now, she's a multimillionaire. She's married to Keon Anderson. He was not deterred by her having children.
I didn't say that every man would be. Okay. I'm saying the average woman, that's not going to work for. Now, we can always go out there and find that is the right word, anomaly. We're going to find somebody. We can find 50 women. We can find 50 women that it has worked for. But I can show you 50,000 other women that it's not going to work for. So we're just looking at the number of
I think, isn't that more of the men she's choosing?
No, it's the men that's choosing her. The average man is not going to choose any of those other women. I'm not saying they're not going to. It makes it a little more difficult.
Okay. So go ahead and play. Go ahead and play the video.
Let's see.
Did it move? Did it leave?
It did, like it left. Why did it leave?
It was probably because you went out and came back in.
It shouldn't have left, but go ahead. I'm gonna try to bring them back up.
Okay. My issue, not really my issue, but as men say, I'm trying to find the level playing field, which there's really, it's going to always be unfair.
Right.
Because to me, the same women who have these children,
right,
who men now find undesirable,
right,
are the same men who also have children elsewhere.
Right.
Be it they don't take care of their own.
Right.
So they don't want to take care of somebody else's.
It's not a matter of taking care of somebody else's kids. Now the average guy, it is, because he knows that he only has a certain amount of income. If he's making $100,000 or $150,000 a year, I'm just using that figure. and he decides to get involved with someone that has 3 or 4 kids, he knows automatically that the income that he has can sustain that family and take care of that family, but it's less than if he found someone that did not have kids and everything else on the playing field was even.
Okay.
Everything else on the playing field was even.
Again, and I'm trying to understand from you guys'
Okay.
point of view.
Okay.
When it comes to me,
right,
I have 2 kids.
Okay.
One is about 2.5 years from being out the house.
Okay.
Okay. One is grown.
Right.
Okay. Do I still financially help him? Yes.
Okay.
My daughter's still here. Okay. Everything that I have, I am self-sufficient on my own.
Okay.
Okay. Does their father help? Of course.
Okay.
But if need be, I have the means to take care of my kids, my home, my car, everything that I have on my own.
Okay.
Now, if a man comes in and we're sharing a household,
okay,
I don't expect him, if he's making $100,000 a year, I don't expect him to come in and take over the bills that I currently have.
Okay.
Okay. When it comes to my daughter and the things that she needs, she's always going to be taken care of because she has 2 parents who are active in everything that she does. What you're not going to do is come and live in my household and not help pay the mortgage.
Right.
You're not going to help. You're not going to have me paying the monthly bills.
Okay.
So how then does that take away from his money if he was then taking care of himself over here and paying his mortgage or his rent by himself, his monthly bills by himself? You know, so when you say, oh, he's going to be having less money. Right. No, actually, he wouldn't be having less money. Because, of course, and like I say, I can only speak for myself. I don't expect another man to take over the responsibility of my children.
Okay.
Now, if we're married and I say, hey, I'm running late, can you grab Jamia from school? I don't see that as taking away from anything that he has.
Right. Okay. Okay. Let me go. Let me put it like this.
So just explain to me how, if you're coming in and paying half of what you were paying 100% of over here, how that's taken away from you, your 100,000 or whatever that you make in a year.
Because we were talking about someone that had kids. You just explained that you only got 2. One of them's gone, and you got one leaving soon. So by the time
it's still one in the house.
Yeah, it's one in the house. It's one in the house now, but that one in the house will be gone by the time you meet this guy and get involved.
I'm just saying, if I met him now,
if you met him right now, he's going to be involved with you. He's not going to be looking to move it. Now I'm saying he's not going to. A lot of men may not be interested in that because one, she's a girl. I'm gonna keep it 100. She's a girl. He may not be interested. If he's smart, he may not be interested in living in your house with you and your daughter, because that's a chance that he has to take, that something might not go right, even if he doesn't do a thing absolutely wrong at all, except for the fact that maybe she got mad at him about something that he said or did, and then she's that type that's just going to be making up something. Now he's in trouble.
I think that also goes into women needing to understand who they're dating.
Well, of course.
Now, with me, if you're a person that I'm just meeting for the first time, you can't even come to my house, number one. And now, if it was somebody that I knew from my past, or I've known this person for a long time, and I know how they are, different story.
Right.
And I would make sure that me and my daughter have the communication of, if she's ever uncomfortable.
Right.
For whatever reason, you know. So what I'm saying is, aside from the whole if the person did something wrong,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of men harp on their money. Money's
Right.
the issue.
Right.
I don't want to support somebody else's children. So
Right.
what I'm saying is I'm taking all of that off the table because you don't need to.
Maurice, grab.
And what is the
Take
problem?
over this conversation for me. I got you. Hold that thought on my behalf. I'm coming back. I'm coming right back.
Okay.
I got to get something straight here with this light. Hold on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying, Maurice, is if I'm not taking away from your financial status, basically you're paying half of what you're currently paying right now.
Mm-hmm.
How then is that any different from a woman who doesn't have children and a woman who does have children? If your financial status really is improving, that makes sense.
I'm trying to get the question that you're asking in relation to
because we're talking about
in relation to Cam Newton.
So basically, Cam was talking about he wanted more children. Okay,
Right.
The mothers of his children,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
They have a household where they maintain everything they can have. They don't need anything from anybody else.
Right.
My question is, if they're meeting someone and that person is right now taking 100% care of themselves,
mm-hmm.
coming over here and sharing what I have, what they have, he's only now paying 50% of his, I guess monthly uptake of his, upkeep of his life.
And this person is marrying one of the mothers.
I'm asking because
or dating.
you said that they don't want to take on this financial responsibility. But when you take away the financial responsibility of this person having to take care of somebody else's kids, having to pay all the bills, when that's not an issue, what is the issue with marrying someone who has children?
Okay.
Because not every woman with 2 or 3 kids is going to be looking for a man to come in and now support her and her children.
Okay, so I don't think that let me speak on me personally. I won't come in and take care of anybody's kids that I'm dating. Okay. They're not my responsibility. They're not even my responsibility to discipline or keep in line. I immediately look at her. So no, they're not getting any of my money and everything. I take her out. I'll spend my time with her. And that's pretty much it. There are guys that will marry a woman, using that example, they will marry a woman with kids and spend their money to take care and her and her children. And if they want to do that, then by all means, let them do that. They probably twisted. She probably got them twisted and nose up,
Okay, so let me.
Yeah, I was rocking with you, but
let me go back.
Hold on, before you say that, Ursula, look, I was rocking with Maurice. I'm still rocking with him on that. I understand exactly what he's saying.
I do too.
But here's the thing, Ursula. You got to understand this. We're in a different day and time.
I was about
there was a time.
Hey, Courtney.
Hey.
Yeah. What's that, girl?
Hey.
There was a time that a man, and I'm not saying that time isn't still here. A man would see a woman, probably, I'm going to say maybe in the 80s, 70s, definitely, that he could see a woman walking with her kid or two going into a store. And he's like, oh my gosh, she's a beautiful woman. Or he just found something interesting about her. And he would go to see, excuse me, I didn't want to bother you. I saw you with the kids. I would like to just get to know you a little bit or whatever. And she's looking at, maybe kind of keeping her kids back, but she's flattered. And he may get her phone number and he may take her out to eat and may go somewhere and take the kids with him, to kind of do this because we were brought up to be a provider.
And
you don't mind raising that child or that young boy or that girl because that's just what we did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was appreciated. And that woman, most of them would honor that man, respect that man, and would let the kids know, look, we're getting to know each other, or we're looking at getting married. He is going to be the head of this house. They used to say that. He's going to be the head of this house. So whatever he asks, you need to do. If you got a question or problem, you can come talk to me about it. But I'm going to decide with my husband what's going to be the right way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way it comes across now.
And I do. Now, I agree with you on that one.
Right. So if it's not approached that way now, where when you go in and meet the young lady, want to take her out to eat, and first thing she wants to, I ain't gonna say first thing, you taking her out to eat. I'm giving crazy examples, but while you out eating at a nice steak dinner and she wants to order some more food to take back to the kids out.
No, but
that's
see,
you. That's you.
I'm
always moving. I've always got to move you out of the picture because I know how
I was saying that goes back to the quality of the woman that you're talking to.
Right. But that's why a lot of men aren't doing it now, because of the quality of the women that they're dealing with or out here. They see that a lot, because if we're going to go with this low vibration or whatever the case is, conversation they were having, if the guy is as a construction worker, hard worker, he's making $18, $19 an hour, whatever the case may be. He gets up early, works late, come home, take a shower, can dress himself up, look nice. He's not, and he meets somebody, he's like, dang, I really ain't trying to take care of a whole bunch of other folks. She got 3 kids, 2 baby daddies. Okay, he's looking at all that.
Okay, go back to the video, because what I was trying to say was a lot of times every analogy that you guys give deals with the man having to come out of his pocket, right? And
it's not about the pocket. It's not about the pocket.
But everything that you guys said had to deal with him spending money on these children, or
That's because you asked. That's because that's what you asked.
There
are other things that are involved.
No, I said
that you asked the question about money. You kept dealing with money.
And if I got my own money, you said if I got my own money and I've got my own house, cars, and the whole
nine. As Cam said, let me clarify.
Okay.
I said that our previous conversations, everything you said dealt with him spending money on somebody else's kid. Like you just about buying another meal. Maurice said, I'm not taking care of anybody else's children. And I said that. Okay, we got that.
Right.
What I'm saying is, if that person that you're talking about, now I'm talking about you, Maurice, I'm talking about you, Houston.
Yeah, sure.
But if you're making 100,000 and you're taking care of 100% of your needs, and then you come to my household, and now, even though you were paying 100% of your needs out of your $100,000 a year, now you're taking care of 50% of your needs. If being honest, even less than that. Okay, because now you're not taking care of yourself physically as much as you was before. So you coming here, now you're paying, let's just say, make it even 50-50. A mortgage is $2,000. Now instead of you paying $2,000 over here and me paying $2,000 over here, I'm paying $1,000, you're paying $1,000. So you're really benefiting more financially.
Okay, let me say this. What you're saying makes all great sense. What a lot of women are saying that they don't want to do 50-50.
Well, see,
they want a man that comes in and takes care of a majority of the bills, and she paid the light bill, phone bill, cable bill, and that's fine. There's not a problem with that.
But that's the problem. What I'm saying is, my household runs efficiently myself with me. I take care of everything I have. Wait a minute. So if I asked you Maurice to come in, and we're now splitting where we were both paying 100% over here, now we're paying 50%. The argument of I don't want to spend my money on somebody else really doesn't fly. Now, if he's just saying, look, I just don't want nobody with kids. that's a whole different argument. You go right ahead. That's his prerogative. But if you're blaming it on money in this situation, it doesn't fly.
So let's say this. It's not all about the money. The money may be one part of a 5-piece puzzle. Here we go. I
got it.
One, he's looking at, most men want to take care of as much stuff as he can. Because that's what makes a man feels like a man, is when you can take care of as much as you can.
Gotcha.
So that's one thing. Two, he's got to look at the fact of, if he hasn't dealt with it before, he's seen just in life about someone. I'm not saying people with kids as a problem, because I did it. Everybody that knows me know I did that. I married someone that had kids. I enjoyed it. 18 years. Yep. It was what it was. So that's fine. I was at that point in time that I had no problem doing it. But now, was it easy?
No, of course not.
No. Was it great and perfect all the time? No. I'll tell anybody, for about 14 years, I thought it was fine. 15 years, thought it was fine. But what I've learned is there's a lot of great responsibility that comes along with taking someone that has kids, whether it's picking the kids up, whether it's leaving lunch money, whether making sure that that child doesn't get in trouble. When they do get in trouble, you're trying to help with that. When they're having a great day, it's good. When they're having a bad day, it's not. You can't put your hands on that child as if it was yours. Then you got to look at, right. So all those things, those type things is what's going through a man's mind. A lot of times, it's not just the financial part, it's everything that comes along with it. Okay, she needs some school, or he needs some clothes for school. I like Nikes. He like Nikes. I like to play video games. He might want to play, but he wants to play it at a different time. Now we're going to buy 2 different game sets. I mean, that's the stuff that men think about. Yeah. A variety of different things.
I get that.
There's more to it, and there's more to that. Yeah. What caused the breakup with her last relationship? You hear a lot about what he did, but what did she do?
Okay, wait. So we're not. We talked about this, and I was telling Houston earlier. I think the reason why a lot of communication breakdown with men and women when they're talking about relationships is because men tend to tell women what they're doing wrong. Men tend to women tend to do the same thing. And as me and Houston talked about last week when we were all on the phone together, when a woman is going to be more receptive of me telling her A, B, and C,
right,
than a man telling her A, B, and C, because 1, you've never been a woman. 2, you don't know how women go through certain things and how they process certain things. So when it comes from you, it's more of a put down, of a pointing the finger and women this, women that, versus letting me tell it. If Courtney was to come and tell me something about the things that I was doing, as a woman, I'm going to be able to relate to her and hopefully change my way of thinking or doing things, because it's coming from a place, from a woman, from another woman.
Don't you think that's shallow? Don't you think that is incredibly shallow? You should be able to get stuff from both sides of a coin and everything. And what I was saying to you, what I was saying just now, I don't know where that come from. I'm going with what y'all talking about right now, which is, hey, these are the things that are a part of. Now, we're not talking about the money now, but I said there are other things that are involved. And the kids and stuff like that. But also, what about what she did, what went down in her relationship with her last husband? And these are things that go through a man's mind, because we're talking about what goes through a man's mind, not what goes through a woman's mind. So I want to know, hey, what did you do in your last relationship to make things go bad? Because I don't want that to happen to me. So we ask those questions and we look for those things also.
Again, and like I said, like we talked about last week, when you said something last week and we were having a conversation, and me and you were going back and forth, and then Houston came in and he said the exact same thing that you were saying. He just said it in a different manner. I was like, oh, okay, I can see that. What I'm saying is a lot of times when men ask certain things, because the way you just asked that question, the assumption was she did something wrong.
That depends on the receiver. If you're receiving, that depends on the Ursula, listen for a second. Just listen, all right? It depends on the receiver. When I first started bringing that up, you immediately started interrupting me, and I couldn't finish saying what it was I had to say. But the bottom line is we're talking about what men think going into that relationship, what goes through our minds. And that is one of the things that goes through our minds.
Right.
What did she do in her last relationship? And I'm going to go through that also. So we start paying attention and watching what she does.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So now I'm gonna reiterate what you just said.
Okay.
And we're not talking about what you're thinking. I was talking about, you said this is what men thinking, which is true. That's what you thinking. That's valid. Okay.
Right.
My statement was the way you said it. You didn't say, well, look, what happened in your last relationship of why it didn't work. You said, what did she do?
Right.
In the last relationship.
So and let me
we did something wrong.
So let me say this. Because I've asked this question before to a female, and two different females, and this is how they addressed it, and they heard it two different ways. I said, well, what did you do in a relationship? What did you do? What happened? I ain't gonna say what happened. I said, well, what did you do? And one told me, she said, well, first of all, I started acting funny when he started acting funny. She told me everything that she did. She said, when things start breaking down, I started shutting down myself. I did the same thing. What did I do wrong? Or not so much wrong. She said, what did I do in the relationship? I would come to him with some issues and some problems, and we're going to talk about it right now. Even though I knew he was the type that didn't want to talk. He wants to wait a couple of days. I would bring it to him and try to talk to him and try to make him talk to me about it. Right. So she told me what she did wrong. Not so much wrong to make the relationship go left, is what she did wrong in the relationship. So I asked that same question to another girl. Well, what'd you do? What'd you do? What'd you do in the relationship? I knew. What'd you do? You did something. I ain't do nothing. I ain't do so and so and so. I did everything right. I mean, it was him. It was him. See, now that's letting me know. First thing I'm doing is looking to see, are you accountable for anything that you did in it? Because women ask men all the time. We hear it all the time. Oh, Lord, what'd you do? If y'all broke up, what'd you do? Y'all do it as a joke, but we hear it so much. We already know of what you're thinking in most cases. So when a guy go, well, actually what happened was, we started getting too big of arguments about stuff around the house. It was about some finances and this, that, and the other. I've had one woman tell me, hey, that's understandable. I get it. That kind of happens. I've had another woman go, he must be broke then. If he talking about finances, if he talking about they broke up over this. See how two different people look at things two different ways.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is I hear what Maurice said about what men think.
Right.
And what I was trying to convey was based on how you approach a woman, how she's going to think. Because immediately the way you said it, it made it seem like, okay, they broke up because of something she did. That's
how you took it.
Exactly. And but most women are going to take it that way if it's presented that way.
No, they're not. No, they're not. It depends on the receiver and how they take it, because Cam Newton could have said it the same way. Okay, and guaranteed it would have been like, oh, and fainted and just enjoyed it the way it came across. Him and I are two different people, and you'll have people that will receive certain messages the same message from two different people differently. Okay,
Right.
so but that is what
Absolutely.
men. That is what men think, and that is what I was putting out. So I'm
Okay.
still wondering what all this has to do with Cam Newton
What
and him
I
sitting down there.
because you went off. The question
I didn't go off
was
anything.
the
I've been sitting
question.
here
Okay, listen.
listening for the
The
past 30
question
minutes.
was
So I'm trying to figure out
no.
what.
The question was if the argument that we've been having was about men
Yeah.
having to use their money to support a woman with children, and I said in his situation, his baby mothers do not need another man to come in and support them because they are self-sufficient.
You're right. That's where we were going with it. And I said that most men don't even want to deal with her because of the whole situation.
But it was my question,
Yeah, okay.
and it just went off the rails. My question was if the conversation that we've been having dealt with a man not wanting to use his money. Well, I'm not taking care of anybody else's kids. My money is my money. If that's the case, and then this woman does not need your money, and she's just looking for a companion, what is then the excuse? Because if it's because she has children, that's a different story. It's because you don't want to be with somebody who has children. Okay, that's fine. But if you're using the financial part of it, when you remove that catalyst from the whole situation, then what now is the reason?
It could be her looks. It could be her size. It could be, her mindset. It could be her health. It could be just about anything that he may be like, hey, I'm just not interested.
Okay.
So, I mean,
yeah, because
let me say this, Ursula. Let me say this, Ursula. What a lot of women fail to understand is because you can take care of yourself and you can pay all your own bills, that doesn't mean absolutely nothing for a man. It doesn't mean absolutely nothing for us. You can have your own house, your own car, and you want us just as a companion. That's all well and good. But we know, not in all cases, when we get into an argument or disagreement, that seems to kind of come up in a lot of cases. I don't need you. I don't need you. And most men don't want to deal with someone that's going to cause that have that kind of dynamic.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So you being a boss babe, you having this and you having that, that's all well and good. But a lot of men that have they don't even have to. I know guys that are making 50, 60,000 a year and they 6'3", work out all the time. They look great all the time. And they got all these women that want them. And they like, oh, I'm good. I mean, she make great money. She looked great, but I don't want to deal with the headaches that I've dated people like that before that with her money and her status and the whole nine. I need to do what she wants me to do. And that's not what most men are comfortable with.
Okay.
Houston.
Go
yes,
ahead,
ma'am.
I just got a quick comment. I do agree with it was a lot going on, so I was trying to keep up, but I do agree with what you said in the last statement.
Okay.
I do believe that it is different nowadays, but in the same sense where you stated, besides the financial and the status, I feel like in majority cases, it does not go beyond that. What else can you offer me besides your money? Because I have my own stability. So I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for beyond that.
Right.
And I don't think it goes either beyond that or sexual relations. It stops because that's all kind of what people are either looking for or looking for to get. And I think you have to be honest with yourself, because a lot of times, like you said, if you go in saying you don't want this broke guy, if you go in saying you want somebody with this, and that, then 9 times out of 10, that's either what you're going to end up with or you're going to be in a disappointment state. Right. And I feel like just be honest from the get-go. That's going to save you and me a lot of time. And let me make the decision. Don't make the decision for me, and vice versa. I think a lot of times we make the decisions for each other because in the beginning you always put your best foot forward.
Absolutely.
And then 6 months later, you realize, okay, this is not really the person that I met in the beginning. So I feel like honesty is the key. And I feel like in this situation with Cam Newton and many other people in today's society, me, for example, I was just telling one of my cousins and my best friend earlier this week that in dating, it's going to be very, very hard 9 times out of 10 for me to meet someone that does not have kids. It's a rare nowadays.
Right.
And if I am going to go in meeting someone who has kids, being I dealt with someone in my last relationship that did, I'm going to have to go in keeping it all the way honest. And I hope he would do the same with me. But in the same token, I'm not going to go in automatically with the restriction that I'm single, I can pay this and pay that, and I want you to do this and do that for me.
Right.
I already know his responsibilities. I already know what he already has had prior to me.
Right.
So it's more so an adjustment in how we can build each other up. That's how I look at it in my mind frame. Now I could be wrong, and many people look at it different.
Right.
But with this Cam Newton, it's gonna just have to be a female or anyone that is interested in dating. Okay, are you willing to do this? If so, you know the consequences that's gonna come with it, good or bad.
Yep.
Right.
So
absolutely.
And I just feel like, again, as well, Ursula, with you saying that you will meet someone, yeah, it probably in your instance would be harder because a lot of independent women or men, it is harder to adjust because you already have your lifestyle. So someone coming along, it's a lot harder. Yeah. But in a sense, it's what you're willing to give and take.
Yeah, and what we talked about earlier, and I did say, I don't have a problem dating anyone with children. The only stipulation that I had, and it wasn't because I don't love children or that it would be a problem. I don't want to date anybody that has a young kid, a really young child, because I'm almost at the door.
It's understandable.
Right.
So I've done my due diligence, not only with my stepchildren, but with my own children. And now I'm at that the crossroad where I'm about to cross over to be an empty nester.
Right.
And so getting someone who has a kid, just beginning high school, maybe middle school, not too bad, because, I can give a couple more years and that child's going to be, out the door. Right. But if you got a toddler, that's starting all over again.
Right.
How old do the children have to be?
I'm not saying there's a number, and it just depends on, really, like Courtney said, how I'm feeling this person. If I do fall in love with this person and I'm willing to take that extra step to be with this person, then it's not going to matter. But if I had to put my opinion for my feelings, I'm like, you know what?
I got you. Let me say this. If you met a guy with a little small child, that the child is like 6, and he tell you when you first meet him, hey, I got a child that's 6, I'm just meeting you here at the movie theater. I thought you was cute. I'm just kind of letting you know. Would you go out with him?
Doubt
it.
So numbers do matter.
So numbers do matter.
What I'm saying is I would probably not, because if he's a good guy, which
you don't know that,
crazy,
right? But you don't know that.
I would be tempted if I was attracted to him, right? But then I would have to get to know him first, because he could be attractive and be a butthole. So I mean, I would have to physically.
So you're saying basically, Ursula, that you will have to get to know him to a certain extent to decide if that's what you want to further along. So age really doesn't matter then, if that's the case.
Exactly.
So even if the guy has a child, okay, the guy has a child, a young kid, okay. I'm not talking about the age of the guy. I'm talking about the age of the kid.
Right.
So he has a young kid. You say you still need to get to know him, or you're not gonna get to know him because he's got a young kid.
Okay, let me keep it 100.
Okay.
There's a guy I know who has a small kid.
Mm-hmm.
Kid is absolutely gorgeous, cutest thing in the whole world, just as sweet as he can be. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy is the same exact way. Great dad, good looking guy. I mean, checks the boxes. Okay. But I won't take the step to go that route.
Right.
Because I know he checks the boxes. Which means if I put myself in that situation, I'd probably stay.
Right. Right.
So I chose not to do that.
Right. And I'm glad you said that. And the reason why is because that's the exact same way some men look at it with someone with a child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
and I like I said, I totally understand that.
Yeah. But that's what I'm getting at. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some guys that say, "No, I don't want anybody with a child," and they stick to that. But then they may run across someone that they meet at a cookout. They all playing cards. They all getting to know each other. And he's like, wow. And he knows that's her little child over there running around. And he's like, ugh.
Do I take this plunge or do I not?
Right. So when I say that about
you take a chance on each other.
It sounds like somebody's healing. Go ahead.
but what I'm saying is there's always going to be chances of I could see doing that. But there's a lot of people that not even gonna go cross that road at all. There's some people that just don't.
I'm sitting in the middle.
Right,
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of the road. I don't know. Look at
right.
So you understand. So you understand. Looking at it, you know, from the other side, why men are the way that they are. Why they think, right? You're getting it, right?
No. What I said was, you said children. Period.
That's Maurice's decision, though.
That's his decision.
So he's trying to get me to agree with what he said.
No.
I don't have a problem.
I don't think that, Ursula. I think at the end of the day, honestly, I will respect someone's decision to be honest with me, like Maurice, tell me from the get-go that I'm only interested in you right now, and I don't want to get too attached or taking care of your kids until we get to that next level. Instead of coming and trying to win me and my kids over, knowing you ain't studying neither one of us to a certain extent.
Now, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with what Maurice said, because that's Maurice's opinion. What I said was, I don't have a problem dating anybody with children. I just I don't think I would want to start over again unless I was deeply committed to the person that had that kid.
So let me ask you this then, Ursula. So if there is 90% chance of someone that kids are going to be younger, then you're going to continue to stay in the middle of the road and not take a chance due to the fact you don't want to start over?
No, it depends really on the person. It depends on.
So if this person that you just mentioned box or check, then what is it? The fear of the unknown, or you just don't want to start over?
She don't want to start over. She wants to live her best life.
I don't want to start over. I'm at the age of 53. So that's like me popping up pregnant right now. As much as I love children,
right?
Y'all gonna have to check on me. If I popped up pregnant right now, y'all would literally have to check on me every day.
I get it. I mean, I get it. I'm not.
So it's like, I'm not, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, would I have this kid and go on and literally start over again? Of course I would. I would have no other choice. But what I'm saying is,
I don't. You do, but you don't. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
Exactly.
I get it.
Like I said, I just don't. I think that he has the right to have his kid. And even though a man is not going to have the child most of the, the majority of the time, they're going to be, pretty much with their mom, you're still going to be a part of that child's life.
But that's changing as well too, because men are starting to fight for their kids because they realize,
and as they should, because
as they should, right?
There's
As they
plenty
should.
of women out here that should not be raising children.
Right. I get it. Let's look back. I'm gonna try to pull this video back up with Cam, but let me say this: the thing that's going on, the thing that I see that's going on with Cam, everything's there now, is people are making a big deal out of the fact that he's having all these kids with these ladies, but he's taking care of his kids.
Yeah.
But what I do like about what the Dr. Bryant said is, you're still, what she say, the broken homes type thing.
He said,
because, and I have something I want to say about that is, I think she jumped the gun with saying that broken home. First of all, there was no home to begin with. So how is it a broken home? You can't break something that ain't there. This guy just wants to have children. And he has talked with these women. There are 3 of them. And he's got 8 children by these 3 women. Mm-hmm. So apparently these women are down with it. They were down with it the first time, second time, maybe a third. So, for her to say, well, you're breaking up broken homes, and it's not fair if you one day decide to get with another woman and decide to make a home because you fell in love with her. What does that do to the other kids? Well, it doesn't do anything to them. They grew up. You used to. A friend of mine tells me all the time, you are used to what you know. So those kids grew up without Cam being married to their mom, and so they'll be all right.
No. Okay. So there's a comment. I'm still saying this, and there are some awesome single men out there, which is absolutely true. But I think
there's some awesome single women out there too. Don't get me wrong. So it's just that most of the time, a lot of men, only 1 or 2 men going to meet that particular woman. The same way with that good guy. Sometimes these good guys are turned into really bad dudes because they were such a great guy. All the people that he were dating, it didn't work out. And then he figured out later that, you know what, by me being too nice, I ain't getting nothing. Exactly. So he started being a little different. And then he started getting women all over him because he turned not so much to a bad guy, but he's different. So
are we talking about Cam still?
No, but I want to talk about Cam.
The subject got changed? Okay, my bad.
Go ahead.
Let's see.
See my situation and not think that I'm not. Both, really.
And they think that you're low functioning.
No, I don't.
You just said people see your life and think you're not high functioning. The opposite of that would be low functioning.
No. Okay, so here you go. You're trying to take my intentions away from this. Can I correct it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or can I give you more?
Yeah, some more information. Heck yeah.
So, I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4.
You need to go a little further.
No, baby. It's
by how many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I just want God to bring them. I just want God to bring them.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just.
Because my point is this.
Ever heard.
My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce.
You might want to stop it there, Houston.
What are you thinking?
Okay, so when you said, hey, you didn't like what he's saying, that's the craziest thing that you've ever heard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to read something to you real quick for those that are, like I said, I most times people, I want to read this to you.
Take 30.
Genesis 1, 27.
Mm-hmm.
And so God created man in his own image, and in the image of God created him, male and female created he them. And God blessed them and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish in the sea and blah, blah, blah. Okay. That is the first commandment given to man. Okay, man, woman, whatever you want to call them. But that's the first commandment given to them for those that believe in marriage. Nowhere in there does it say, hey, first of all, y'all need to get married and then go have children and everything. None of that is in there. So I don't disagree with it. This man wants to have children. He wants to have more. Let him do so. That's it. He's got the money. That's been, we pay the taxes to allow him to do whatever he wants, and nobody really says anything about these items. So I can't down him for wanting to explore, because look at him. He comes from a he comes from a home. You got to look at where he came from. He comes from a very rich family. You know, his dad was an NFL player. His older brother is an NFL player. He's like the second or third kid that's one, and then the younger brother's the NFL. You know, he got lost in the crowd, and you can look at the way he talked and the way he acts. You know, so guys like him, they just let him be carefree. But hey, it's nothing wrong with men having as many kids as they want. I mean,
so what I was referring to when I said this craziest thing I ever heard, to me, is when he, you know, him having the kids, that's fine. But she said, well, how is this going to go about? And he goes, just bring them.
He said he want God to bring them.
Yeah, I want God to just bring them.
That's what he said.
So when he said that, that's the only reason. That's the only reason why I said it's the craziest thing I ever heard. When he said, "I just want God to bring them."
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's just me, in my opinion. You know, I'm like, that's a bit.
And that's biblical. But Cam spoke, and this is just me. Cam spoke biblical. That's exactly what it says.
What did he say biblical?
He said he want God to bring them. He didn't say it. He said, I want God to bring them.
Wait. You can't ask God to do something, okay? And then you go out and do it on your own.
Well, how he supposed to have these children?
Because you're saying he said God bring them.
Yes.
No, because you just really backtrack everything you've ever said to me on this show.
I'm only speaking facts of I'm speaking facts of I'm speaking facts of the I'm speaking facts of the moment, Ursula. The fact is, this guy said he wants God to bring him. I just read to you what it says in the Bible about what God said. So apparently, God knew what was in. Look, wait. God knew what was in his heart before Cam was even giving this interview. So God brought him.
Let's say something. Just because you want to do it, just because it happens, does not mean that was God's divine plan. Let's get that straight.
How do you know? How do you know? You don't know that.
How do you
don't know that?
How do you know?
How do I know? I didn't say that. I'm reading what comes from your book. This is your religion, and this is his religion.
No. You're reading something.
This is his religion, and he said he wants God to bring.
I'm gonna let you talk, and I'm gonna finish. Okay, you're reading something, one, that you don't believe. Two, you're reading something with no kind of discernment or interpretation of it, just basically word for word. There's no interpretation of biblical in that. So let me just bring something up, because you said this whole conversation that we've been having, you talked about how women are low value because they have all these children. But you just said there was nothing wrong with this man having multiple children by multiple women. There's nothing wrong with it. How was that okay?
When did I say that these women?
Okay, please. This is being recorded. We can play it back. You just said that.
Let him finish, Ursula. Let me see what he's gonna say.
Yeah, because I don't. All I remember is you just yelling at me about what I said. I don't remember.
I think she's referring at a later time, like in the past. You might have made that comment or that statement.
I'm saying in this moment, what
the statement that you just said,
right? What this guy said, he said, God bring him. He said, I want God to bring him. Okay. And when Houston said what he said, I said, but I'm going at Houston saying, well, look, he said, God bring him and everything. Right. I hear what you're saying, but I went to a factual, to what most people consider a factual book. I went to his religion. I went to his religion and said, this is what he is saying. So you're me. I'm not making stuff up. This man wants what he wants. Okay. Whether
So
I
he has
agree with
faith.
it,
He
whether
has
I
faith.
agree with it or
Right.
not, he
Right.
wants what he wants.
Right.
But again, my comment was you stood on the fact that women who have multiple children, who are not in relationships, based on your idol, Kevin Samuels, are of low value, but somehow it's okay if Cam wants to have as many children as he wants to have, while in fact making women have multiple children who are not married, but it's okay for him to do that. So you're
I'm
dogging
not
the women
God.
that he's you're
I'm
dogging the
not.
women that he's impregnating with all these children and not
Ursula,
being married to
Ursula, are
them.
we talking about Cam or we talking about you? What I'm saying
Talking about
is
me.
this. What I'm saying is this, okay? What Cam wants to do is what Cam wants to do. Kevin Samuels has a point. Women, if they have a point in what they're trying to say, okay, then they have a point. All right.
What
If a
was Cam's
woman can
point?
take care, if a woman can take care of those children and raise them to be successful on this planet, okay, I ain't got nothing against them. I ain't got nothing bad to say about them. That they did a heck of a job. And I have met some women who have raised their children and made them, like I said last week, priority number one. So I have nothing against that. But what we're talking about now is what Cam just said. That's what I was saying.
What
You
did he
brought
just
up,
say?
you have a hang up with Kevin Samuels, and the man is dead. Okay, but in my opinion, the reason I stand behind what he says because a lot of things he said was correct. Okay.
Okay, so let me take a breath for a second. I'm
Do I
gonna go
need to
back,
say
but I'm gonna
Cam?
say this. I'm gonna say this again. Okay. You have said on multiple occasions, quoting Kevin Samuels, that women with children are low value. Women of a certain age are low value. This is what you said in the past.
This is what Kevin Samuels says, and I said this is what Kevin Samuels has
But
said.
you said
Two
you
things
totally
here. This is
agree with
something
him.
that two things here, Ursula. You keep going round and round. Two things here. One, that is what Kevin Samuels has said. Two, I have said this is what Kevin Samuels has said.
You not
Three,
agree with it?
I'm three. What I date who I want to date. And if I don't want to date a woman with numerous kids or with even one kid, I don't have to. Okay.
Okay, we're not talking
That
about you
is
dating. We're not talking about dating. I said that you constantly agree with what he said,
yes.
that they were low value
That they
because they
can
have
lose.
children.
You know what? Okay, let me go ahead and say this then, since depending on the low value that you're talking about, you have a woman with multiple kids that cannot take care of herself and those kids. She needs my tax money to help her get along. So she's on welfare and EBT and has not done anything to get herself off of it. She runs around here looking, going to the clubs, half dressing, looking for a high-end man. Okay, she does not go out here and get her education. She does not work with her kids and make sure that they get their education up to par. She drags those kids to church on a regular basis instead of teaching them how the word works. Yes, she is low value, and
Okay,
she ain't worth 5 cents.
so
Okay, so
let's
yeah, that is the type of person, that is the type of woman that I agree with
so
Kevin Samuels
okay,
on.
so let's clarify, because you just set a
I
bunch
just
of
I know what I
parameters.
just said.
You set a bunch of parameters that you never said before.
Oh,
Okay,
come on.
we were not
I mean,
talking about. Wait a minute, let me finish.
you're getting me confused with Kevin Samuels and making it seem like I'm
No,
the one
what
that
I'm
put the stuff
saying,
in Cam. I didn't put the stuff in Kevin Samuels' mouth. I agree with a lot of the things that he said, and if you take 5 minutes to watch his videos and to
I
pay
do.
attention to what
I do waste my time.
to pay attention to what he's saying, okay, then you wouldn't be so upset with Kevin Samuels on a regular basis. Now, I gave you those parameters. Those women that came on his show, the parameters are staring you in the face. but you don't
No,
take 2 minutes to pay attention to what's being said.
what I'm
So
saying, Maurice, is a lot of times when you're saying this stuff, you're not using those parameters, because I will tell you that anybody that's on welfare all their life and not trying to get off of it have never held a job a day in their life, be it a man or a woman, or of low value, because you're not inputting anything into society other than other bills.
you're preaching to the
I have
choir.
no problem with that.
You're basically preaching to the choir. So you're telling me this, but why? This is something that you should be telling a dead man, okay? Because he's the one that said this.
What
What
I'm
I'm
saying,
saying to you
See,
is, what I'm
here's
saying to
the
you,
thing.
I've given you my opinion on what I feel and what I think, and also the
you're not
facts of
listening.
and also the facts of what was said. In this case, we're talking about Cam Newton.
So
Cam
let's play
Newton
the
made a
next one.
statement.
Just keep going.
So, as you would say it, Dr. Bryant, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
Drinking and driving is a decision that could change or
That's
change
just
your
a
world
good
for the better.
commercial.
It's
Him though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active, okay? So you're creating, and disclaimer, the kids are innocent, they are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you.
That's where
thus
she
far.
screwed up at. That's where she messed up at. How can he have a broken home when there was no home in to begin with?
So I think what she's saying is that you're setting it up to not even have a home when you have kids with multiple women.
She breaks it down.
There's no possibility, right? There's no possibility of you ever getting with them to have them in the same home with you. So they're not never going to grow up to have a mom and a dad in a home.
And you look, you're used
That's
to
just that's my interpretation of it. But
yeah, you're used to what you're used to. If those kids never had a dad, if those kids never had a dad in the house in to begin with, then what are they missing? All right,
Maurice, normal doesn't mean it's okay. Normal does not mean it's okay.
So you're saying that?
No, let me say this.
So let me make sure I get this straight. You're saying it's normal to have mom and dad in the house, living together, and having a kid. The kid should that's normality for you.
Yeah, that's normal. That's normal for me.
Well, guess what? That's not how the world works.
Time
And
out.
you even got you even got animals. You know what? It's been like this for hundreds of thousands of years. So normal is what you are used to. If you look, I grew up for a long time without a male figure in the house. Okay. There were times I did have a male figure in the house, but a majority of the time it wasn't that there. My children, two of my daughters didn't have a male figure in the house all the time. But it's not abnormal to not have a male or a woman in the house.
And that thinking is why there are so many houses with not a mother and father in the house, because we have normalized something that's not normal.
Exactly.
Well,
You're
it's not
absolutely
normal
correct.
in this country. I mean, you do have other countries that have millions of people that have more than one wife. So that is just not normal in this country.
What she was saying was, you was like, oh, well, he could do what he want to do. But what he's done has affected more than just him.
Who did it affect?
He's now created, and she went on, if you play the rest of it, she went on to break down exactly what she meant, because he took offense pretty much to her saying the house was broken.
She's a
but these
41-year-old.
families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without Daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I am going to create these homes. Let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses.
I get where she's going.
You see how she corrected herself?
In what part?
What did she say?
In the part about home and houses. She stopped herself.
Right,
She started to say home again, caught herself and said houses. That was the correct term.
But that was just a technical. She was
that
trying
was
to
the
be
correct.
selective.
No.
She was trying to be.
Ursula. Acknowledge it for
Can
what
I
it
say
is.
something?
Acknowledge it. No, because all you're gonna do is go around again.
Let him get it out, then you can
for
say
what
yours.
it is. She said you're trying to turn it into something else. What she said was this. She started to say homes. She realized she made a mistake and called it house.
Right.
Just acknowledge that.
Okay.
What she was again, let me finish, because what she said was she was trying to say broken homes. And she said, I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna say houses so that she can differentiate between when he marries someone, has children with that person, that's a home. Where the other ones can't even be considered homes because they're houses. There's no mother and father in the house. There's just a mom with kids that he put over there intentionally.
Yeah, but
and then
the
turned
mothers
around once
accepted. But the
he's
mothers
not
of those
scared.
kids accepted
He's
that.
not scared to have children with somebody that he's
The
not in a relationship
mothers
with.
accepted that.
But you know what, though? I will say this. It is very true that each and every one of those three women said, you know what? Let's do this.
Hello.
And it's not a blame. It's not a blame left or right. They have agreed to it. It's just the fact that, hey, they have agreed to it.
But y'all are talking about adults. I'm not mentioning, I don't care what the women decided. She was talking about those children do not have a mother and father based on the decisions that two adults made.
And people, and adults make that
said,
decision every day. Adults make that decision every day.
She said the children are going to always have a deficit. She didn't say the mother.
Right.
She said the children are going to have a deficit because they're not going to have Papa in the house.
And you know what? Ursula? Here's the thing. Who cares? You know what? Those kids have been mooching. Let me finish. Those kids have been mooching off of mom and dad ever since they were born. They've been free ever since they came out of mom. Out of mom. So the bottom line to all that, it's sad that, look, to most people, it's sad what happens to the kid. But you know what? Those kids are going to be living large, okay? Larger than me. So who cares?
So you're saying because they have money, that everything else in their life it doesn't matter?
And the thing about it is they have the DNA of their mom and dad who think that way. Okay? So guess what? Those kids are gonna do the exact same thing. So when I say
that's a bunch of crap. That's the way. Stop. That's a bunch of bull. That's a bunch of bull, because you cannot sit here and tell me that everybody that comes from dysfunction is dysfunctional.
No,
that's a load of crap.
Not true, but there's a chance.
That's a load of crap, and you know
I'm just saying.
Okay, let me.
We're not even having a conversation.
Let me be the bad guy here. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Ursula. You know what? You got me on that one. So you're possibly right. They may not be that way, but they got a 50-50 chance.
We have a 50-50 chance of being anything. You
They
have a
got a
50%
50-50
chance
chance.
of
So
walking out
let's
the house and getting hit by a
so
car.
20 years so 20
So
years or
look,
let's see what happens.
so here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Yeah,
When
that's
you have money and some status, these are the kind of decisions that some people make.
Yep.
So Cam may have 8 kids, 9 kids, whatever. There's someone out here that have 8, 9 kids and can't afford to pay child support for them. Those are the ones.
Exactly.
Those are the ones that we really need to worry about. Now, I think Cam is really showing here that okay, he has a deeper thing going on. I don't know what it is, why he wants so many kids. He said, "I got 8, and I want even more."
Yeah.
Bring
Nick
them.
Cannon is the same way.
And you know
So
what?
and maybe Nick Cannon is the same way. So that's
I was
something
gonna say that.
that's something they need to work out with themselves and their
but you know what?
counselor, and also make sure they take care of the kids and spend as much time with them, because financially they're gonna be pretty much okay unless something happens and he lose all his money.
I will say this though.
Wait, Courtney
You know
has
what?
something to
This
say.
lady
Courtney.
here, this Dr. Drcheyennebryant, you know, she should instead of doing high profile and showing cleavage and stuff while she's sitting in the chair, what she ought to do is go to the ghetto. Come to my neighborhood. Okay, she ain't even got to come to Morewood. She can come over here to where I live at and talk to some women that have that are in the same situation, or guys that are in that same boat as Cam, that don't have a lot of money but they want a whole bunch of kids, or talk to the women that are willing to have children by the this guy, have numerous children by this guy, knowing that he ain't got no money, he can't afford to take care of the kids.
Now,
She can impress me by coming and seeing people like that instead of talking to rich people who don't give a crap about us.
but here's the thing. There are people in our community right now that are already talking to the kids, the young ladies and the men, and it's still not making a change because they're not listening. You know,
And because it's a choice too.
It's a choice.
At the end of the day, his kids, they unfortunately are in this situation and will be brought into something like this.
Right.
But we would hope for the best that they would do different.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, with fame and money and all that kind of stuff, money or not, you're gonna do what you want to do.
Right.
The thing about it is when you are raised in dysfunction, yeah, they say 99.9% you will end up dysfunction.
Yep.
But I feel like it's a choice.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, to decide that you're gonna break this generational curse and do different and be the same for your kids and down the line. I feel like it's a choice.
Now,
if you have,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, if you have a mother mother and father in the home directing you, and like you said, we were talking about earlier, Houston, about how you feel a certain way, like, you know, we were talking about the cruise. If the dad is saying, look, this happens, this is what's going to happen, you're going to have to deal with it. You got the mom on the other side, you know, saying, look, I'm gonna need you to do this, I'm gonna need you to and check in and do the, and you have, and it creates a balance where these children know they, you know, the father's giving them, you know, that independence where, look, you're gonna sink or swim. But they also have the mother on the other side who's giving them that reassurance. And when you have those two in the household, you create almost a well-balanced child.
Not all the time.
You have these homes where these children, when you don't have a mother, you have a mother in the house who is always working. That child, what we used to call back in the latchkey kid. You learn your independence way too early. Okay. Or you have these absent fathers who come by every now and then. The child sees a child every now and then, and that child doesn't have to grow up with a deficit.
Not all the time.
I don't know that deficit because I had a father and mother in the home. But
exactly. You've never had that.
I did see a difference because I do have several family members who did not have a father in the home. I saw that my
and how did they turn out? And how did they turn out?
I saw that my lifestyle was very different than theirs. And
how did they turn out is my question.
And each one of us, there were some that were successful, some that took the wrong road, some that was on the middle of the road.
Right.
That
And
was
some
just,
that had, and wait a minute, those who didn't have both parents in the house, they did not know how the world worked. So they went out into the world and got messed over by their boss. They got messed over by lovers and everything, and then didn't end up with the lifestyle that they had growing up. So it doesn't matter. You know, people are saying that the best thing to have is a mom and dad in the home, and that balance is there and everything. Not all the time. Sometimes you can have just a mother who knows what she's supposed to do and everything, and
I
those
never
children turn
said
out
there's
right.
nothing wrong with single mothers.
Or you may have a dad who is raising the kid by himself, and the kid turns out right. You even have kids that don't have neither parent, and
Right, and
still,
turn out fine. Let me ask you guys this.
yes.
Let me ask you guys this. I'm gonna play this, and let me get your opinion on this.
Time to believe a very educated, a very attractive woman out of 41 years have not met Mr. Right.
He talking about her.
That's enough time to find a lot of things out.
I bet.
And yet, no kids, single. I'm not, but I am saying, are women's expectations unrealistic?
So
Okay.
I'm gonna play this. Ask you guys what you thought about that for about 2 minutes. The reason why I'm gonna let her go into what her statement was. At first, the way I saw that was, ooh,
A shot.
he's throwing a shot. He's throwing a shot here, because that's something that a lot of times people will talk about is, how can you talk about a family and a home and all this stuff that's so bad. I know she's a psychologist or whatever, so she may know technically about the book, but you have no person in your life, but you're telling someone else how they need to live their life.
Yes.
Okay. So I got a
And
question.
so that's what he was saying, but I think that's a little shot that he was trying to make.
Yes.
I went through, I was attacked in the military. Okay. My psychologist has never been attacked before. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think she's not qualified to talk to me?
I think she's not. Sometimes I think that a person who hasn't been through something is not qualified because they have not gone through. I'm just saying sometimes. I'm saying sometimes, Ursula, I think that yes, that person does not have the qualifications. Let me take that back. No, let me take that back. Let me take it back. No, they do not, because they have not been through what you've been through. That's like a person with a broken leg telling you how it feels like and what it's going to be like. They don't know. So no. And it's just like me telling you what to do with your body as far as having children or not, because this is why I can't give you that information. Why? Because I'm a male. I'm not going to have children like that. I haven't been through what y'all been through with that. So
what
no.
I'm saying is, anybody that's been hurt in a particular way has to be healed, okay, in order to be able to function, not I can say function normally, but to heal that part of themselves. And if she has been hurt, okay, which I understand your philosophy of, you got to be able to tell me how to feel. I don't really think that you have to be hurt in order to help me heal.
So you think that she, a 41-year-old woman with no children and no man, has the right to tell this guy here what his issues are or what he's doing right or wrong?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna read one of the comments. It says, people teach you two things: what to do and what not to do. It's up to the individual which lesson they take away from the situation. Now, if I didn't have children, right, and I'm talking to Cam Newton, He's going to teach me like that, what to do and what not to do.
Right.
Being a psychologist, she's probably already seen these men with multiple children. She's probably seen women with multiple children. Mm-hmm. And she knows that's not the lifestyle that she wants. And she wants to wait until she finds the guy that she wants to build that life with. That's her prerogative. But what I'm saying is, a lot of times we keep going back to, if a woman has children, she's low value. However, if a woman is a certain age and she doesn't have children, then there's something wrong with her. It's like pretty much, for lack of a better word, damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Well, what you said at 1.39 seconds is that, yes, someone other than telling you that, they showed you. I believe that people can show you better than they can tell you. You see what I'm saying? That part I agree with you on. The rest of stuff, I'm sorry, I don't get it. But that first part, that what you said about showing, that you're right.
All right, I'm playing the rest.
No, I'm gonna say, like I said on Nick, the question shouldn't be, why isn't a woman of age, of success, of a certain caliber not married with kids? The question should be, why are people rushing to the altar just to become divorcees or baby mamas and baby daddies? I think if anything, we need to be teaching our society, take your time, young man or young woman, so that you can get to know not just this person, but yourself first, so that you can choose a life partner, not that that person isn't exempt to divorce. Instead of rushing to the altar just to become a divorcee or a baby mama and have multiple kids by multiple women, just to say you have broken families everywhere, I don't see no benefit in that.
So I think what she said makes a lot of sense. But she, I think she answered it very well, because he was throwing a shot just a little bit.
He's throwing shade.
That you 40. And have no kids or no man, because when he said this thing of, I'm saying but not saying,
he was throwing shade.
I get what I kind of get what he's saying, but that wasn't necessarily needed to be said, because it's already seen. One thing that men do, and women don't like this, is when we see, you don't have to have kids, but when you don't have kids, you don't have anyone in your life, or someone. It's different if you've been in a relationship for 10 years with this guy and y'all never got married. We like, okay, we get that. It shouldn't have happened. I don't know why you stayed that long or whatever. But we know that you can sustain a long-term relationship. But when we don't see a long-term relationship and you start to be the age of 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, men, barbershop talk, we like, okay, what's the problem? Because a lot of times in men, we like, somebody would have locked this down, whether she cute or not cute, because there's somebody for everybody, but you can't find nobody for you. That's how we look at it. We may not say it, but that's how we see stuff sometimes.
So you're looking at, I need to find me someone in order to, I guess, validate that I'm worthy of having somebody.
No.
That's what you just said.
No. I'm gonna address that.
I'm gonna use me. I've been separated for quite a while.
But
listen. No. I'm gonna listen. I have been separated for quite a while. Have I been approached? Of course. Okay. But I took the time because, one, and Maurice, you might like this, I had children. And I wanted to focus on the children. Did I say I didn't go out? Of course I did. Go on trips? Of course I did. Okay? Because I had the means to do that. But in the interim, I was waiting for my children to get, one, old enough. Okay? Because me and their dad established that even though we're not together, we still have a family together. And so we still spent time together. We still went on vacations together. We still have holidays together, because our children see us as a family unit. Now that my daughter is almost about, she's a couple years from graduating, it's more of, okay, well, now I can maybe start to venture out a little bit And just because in those years, it's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of those years, I did not have a boyfriend or a male friend, didn't mean I couldn't have one. It meant that I chose to wait, because when you have a failed marriage, you tend to be more selective the next time. And so I waited, and I'm still waiting, because there's a standard now that I have about, I need to get to know you. I need to know more about myself. Like you say, what I could do different in the next relationship.
Right.
I'm willing to accept in the new relationship.
Right.
And so, go ahead.
I want to ask a question about that. When you said that, and all due respect to your family, I just have a question about that particular portion that you said that, well, y'all still was a family unit, but not a family unit.
We were not in a home together.
Right.
But we
So
made
is
sure
that,
that when I say family, I'm talking about our children still knew that we were mom and dad, that when it came down to it, he come over here, we sit down, it was a family dinner, it was family conversation, we've solved our problems together. There was no go talk to your dad, go to your dad's house. No, he's going to come over here, we're going to sit down as a family unit, and we're going to talk. Now, my kids have a broken home to me.
Right.
However, they don't have a broken family. They would, of course, they wanted their mom and dad in the same house. That didn't happen. So we did the best we could of mending the fact that he wasn't here full time by making sure that we were a unit. That mom and dad, I did not make decisions without him when it came to our children.
Okay. All right.
So my question is, was that healthy?
What you mean?
Was that healthy? Is that a good example to set for the children? Is that something that you would want your children to do when they grow up and start having their families?
No, I would want them to keep their family together.
And
Number one. But if they could not, I don't want nobody, not just my children, but I don't see anybody who has been married to someone without physical violence or abusive, any kind of abuse, whatever, outside of that. To have someone that you built a life with that now you can't stand. Because what I did was I took my feelings and my emotions about what happened to our marriage, and I put that aside when it came to my children. Because I'm not going to be, oh, well, your dad did this. No, why? They don't need to know that was between me and their dad.
Right.
We're still friends. Because at the end of the day, I'm still an adult. What we had, we settled it between the two of us, and we're friends.
Did they ever learn it after their teenage years?
You mean about what happened between the two of us?
Yes.
They may have speculated, but
you haven't talked to them about it.
Absolutely not, because why? That was between me and their dad. Now, when they get older and like Jacob's grown, if he wants to come to me and say, you know what, Mom, what happened between you and your dad? You and my dad. Then that's when me and his dad are going to get together, and we're going to sit down and we're going to tell him what happened.
But what if he just said, I don't want to talk about it?
Huh?
What would happen if your ex-husband go, no, I don't want to talk about it?
He wouldn't, because
no. I just gave you a scenario. If he just spit that out,
he wouldn't, then I don't know. I honestly at that point, because I don't know.
Would you try to talk him into
it?
Right. Would you have to talk him into it?
If I had to talk him into it,
would you just leave it alone?
I can't. No, because if my son asked me, I would tell him, but I would try to be completely fair by not only telling the things that his dad did, but the things that I did.
Okay. I
would never make it a one-sided conversation, but I'm thankful and I'm blessed that even with all of his flaws, and even with my flaws, that he's open enough to come and talk to his children about what he's done wrong.
Right. I get it.
So I think that, like what she said was, I don't want to create another household with dysfunction.
Right. So let me say this. Let me say this. Because what you just said when you talk about being married and the kids and the whole nine, that's something that men talk about as far as trying to date someone with kids. Because now they have to deal with the dynamics of the baby's father, the kid's father. Because all the fathers may not be like Jane. All the fathers may not be like your husband, that they're going to be cool with it. So they don't want to do it.
Now, wait a minute. I never said he's going to be cool. No, that's okay.
But that's what I'm getting at. But that's what I'm getting at. So some guys don't want to even date. They don't even want to even go down that path.
Yeah. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. When I ask these questions to y'all, I'm not saying I don't understand what you're saying, because I know what I went through with the ex-wife. Okay. And I know a lot of women, I'm going to say 99% of the women would have never went through what I went through.
Right.
At all. Okay. So I get it. I've never said I don't understand the concept of what y'all are saying. I never said that.
Right.
When it comes, like she just said, I think that she, like you said, she handled it very well. She answered it very well, because it's like, even though she told Cam that you've made all these broken homes, and he's saying, well, you know what? I may have done this, but you ain't even got nobody.
Right.
You don't even have children.
Right.
And she said in the beginning of the interview, she says, I can't wait to get married, can't wait to have kids. She never said she wasn't looking. Right. But she did say that she's taking her time. And I don't think that should be something.
Now, she's a 41-year-old woman.
About to say the same thing.
And you and I, exactly. And you and I, Ursula, had this conversation where I said something about women having children we had a discussion with there were three actresses, Holly Berry, the singer, and somebody else, and they were having children, and you went off about that, saying no, because women have issues at the older they get. It's hard for them to recoup from having a baby as they the older that they get. Okay, so I don't see this woman as having kids or anything like. She is a professional. She's the kind of woman
you're gonna have a surrogate.
Right. I would love, look, if she has children surrogately, that'd be great. She's the kind of woman that I am like, she's a professional. And her lifestyle is about, hey, it's about me being selfish, me doing what I want to do, me building a legacy without doing it with children. This
or
is
anybody
her way.
To pass it on to.
And I like that. And I like that about her, because she can wear all the cleavage that she wants. She can sport all the tight clothes that she wants. 41 years old and still looking good, like Angela Bassett. She can do what she want to do. Okay.
Right. Let me say this. And the numbers are going to be wrong. The average lifespan for women is a little bit higher than men. So let's just say women's lifespan is 80. Right. If 80 is the age, and we divide that by 3, because at what point do you go, okay, we're a senior citizen? Because we don't really look at that anymore. You're a senior citizen when you start hitting what?
80.
But that's not the deal. You're really a senior citizen when you start hitting your 50s.
Well, yeah,
or
your 60s, or your middle age is now the 50s, but 60s when you start getting your Social Security.
No, it's not. Middle
age
changed. No. We're just being realistic. When you middle age mean what? Half the road, half your life.
Yeah.
If your lifespan is 80, that's on a good. That's if, because most people are gone by the time they hit 65, 70. That's about it.
Right. But the basic quarter is 4 scores. So basically they're saying you have from the time you're born to 100 years. They're giving you that 100 years. And you do have people that go over 100 years, but the average
Average.
has been, depending on the decade and depending on the gen.
Overall, the overall it shows 77 is pretty much the cutoff for average, because the people that die at 52
Yeah.
and the people that die at 92, it
Yeah.
averages down to 6, just like 72. Let's just say that number.
All right.
So if 72 is the end of your life, half of that is when you what, in your 40s?
Yeah.
So 40, 40s ain't middle age anymore.
What was your question though? About
My question is this. My question is this, or my statement is this. Our life is pretty much over. When you start hitting your 40s and 50s, you really, back in the day, you were a senior citizen. Now we like doing this thing of a 40 is the new 20, but you still dying at 70 something. And we know people that dying at 56.
Are you talking about her having children?
When I'm talking about her having children, her being 40 something is really on the down end of that whole thing.
Okay, so
I'm not saying that she can't have kids.
The consensus is having children before your 40s. All right.
Having children, before your mid-30s.
This is women, right? This is women.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had one at 33 and one at 37.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So women that are like Ashanti just had hers.
That's it.
Okay? She's in her late 40s, mid 40s. Janet Jackson had one at 50. Halle Berry had one at 50. Somebody else, I think Angela Bassett had hers. She didn't have hers. Hers was surrogate. Right. But they were her children, her eggs. So, and she was in her 50s. So
what I'm saying is this: the average person on the average salary do not have the money to go out and freeze their eggs and get all this stuff done. On average, people got to have their kids pregnant naturally.
Yeah.
So then there's a trouble. Then they say it's a high risk pregnancy after the age of 30 something years. So your doctor didn't tell you at 30 something that it was a high risk.
No, not mine.
Okay. But
said,
that's a normal thing though.
She said at 40.
Okay. There's a high risk at 40.
High risk. Now you're getting close.
But nonetheless,
pregnancies were completely normal.
All I'm saying is this: her being at 40, not a problem. She can definitely have kids. But if she has not even met anybody yet, that means that most likely it's going to be her 45. If she met somebody today, by the time she start having kids.
But like you said, she has money, so she has afforded other options of freezing her eggs, getting a surrogate, so she can have kids at whatever age. However, again, I think that telling someone, if you have these children and you're not married, like she said, is one thing. And then to turn around and say, well, you know what? But you're 41 and you ain't got no kids. So now something's wrong with you. Basically, men in society are giving women a 10-year value. So from 25 to 35 is the value that they give women of being
they're trying to say that that's the highest. They're just saying that's the most probable age, where you are looking the most beautiful for what a man's looking for. That's the age that they're talking about.
But again, she's to tell her that something's wrong with her because she hasn't had children, because she chose not to be, because I'm pretty sure she could have had a baby by now if she chose to.
Right.
She could have had a baby by now, but
she was sitting there. But she was sitting there telling this boy what was wrong with him, and he just turned around and told her what was wrong with her. There
was nothing wrong with her. The problem is he asked her on the show to talk about him. And then he didn't like what she said.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with her. I said this girl was sitting there telling this guy what's wrong with him, and he's sitting there telling her what's wrong with her. Now, do I think there's anything wrong with him? No. Do I think there's anything wrong with her? No. Okay, but these two are having this discussion with themselves, feeling like there's something wrong with the other.
The problem is he asked her. She didn't ask him. He brought her on the show to talk about his business and then didn't like how she addressed it.
Well, I don't know if it was matter. I don't know if I know he was uncomfortable, but I think he knew it was going to be an interesting conversation, and it went left because I get that. I mean, for men, the truth can be hitting you, and you're going to fight against it.
That's
now,
right.
I think a lot of stuff that she said to him, he's going to think about later.
Yes.
And he may still have his other kids, because when he goes to the bank and see, well, I got 15 million in this account.
Hold on, time out. It's 11 o'clock, so I'm pretty sure the radio station is going to sign out. So,
right.
So Unit 100 is, is done for Thursday. We will still be probably online a few more minutes, finish up our conversation. But thank you guys for everybody that tuned in, anybody that had any kind of comments. We appreciate it. Again, next Thursday, 11 p.m. I'm sorry, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Not sure if we're going to be in the studio or at our new studio, Mr. Houston, but we will let you know ahead of time.
No doubt.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
I'm pretty sure the radio station signed out for anybody that we know may still be online. But go ahead, Houston. What was you saying?
Well, I'm about to take this call. Y'all can keep talking.
Okay. But anyway, what I'm saying is